It is the final day of week 9. I'm here with Team Liquid's Doublelift right now after their loss against Cloud9 in that very important game. Unfortunately, this means that Team Liquid's playoff chances are done. Doublelift, just asking you, what happened in this final game against Cloud9?
We were losing early pretty hard, losing most objectives. We lost like Drake and Harold, and I think we lost a drag afterwards, but uh we had a way back after. Well, top was like getting slightly ahead early as far as I could tell, but I don't remember exactly how ahead. And then through release pressure, and then we got some pretty crucial engages off, like arrow mid on Sven, and then a few good Ornolds and flanks afterwards, and just like counter engages. So the game was like pretty much mostly in their hands starting early, but then when we started to like, I guess, get some opportunities, we were pretty good at actually jumping and pulling the trigger, something that we lacked before. But I'd say like the game was one of our better performances, maybe one of our best. But in the end, I think it's pretty obvious Cloud9 was a better team, and we're probably not. We definitely don't deserve to go to playoffs based on our overall performance.
Well, I think kind of just like comparing your first game against Cloud9 when you didn't have Broxa, you guys were still, dealing with having a substitute and then also working with trying to fit everyone together is like this new team. Uh, there's a pretty big difference between that first game and this last game. You guys look way more put together, and then just unfortunately, it fell short. So I think what I'm trying to ask here, as my brain is somewhat jumbled after watching that game, like, do you think that if this team had a little bit more time to put themselves together to work through that communication, that the results would have been different?
Yeah, I think for sure if we had more time, I hate to say that like one of the things that really gets echoed by the community and even maybe some people on the team is that it was an unlucky split. I would say there's not too much stuff that was particularly unlucky. Like I understand like the visa issues was really bad, and then me getting sick was bad, but a lot of the problems were just caused by, I think, the players and staff and just our performances. I'm not gonna shy away from saying like that my performance early in the split was pretty bad. Uh, and like it doesn't really take too much to get into playoffs. And then when you get into playoffs, you have quite a lot of time to then like essentially like revamp your team. Because the stress of prepping for multiple opponents week by week is off, and then you're just mostly focused on growing your team and prepping for only one opponent. Um, so yeah, if we had more time, our team would have been quite a lot stronger, in my opinion. Like, but I'm still not sure how long or if we would be able to surpass Cloud9, which is clearly like the best team at the moment. We had a really great game against them, and I see the potential. Like, I see I guess I can like see the light with our team, but it's we're still really really far off. And I don't know how many days, weeks of practice that would take for us to get close to our limit as a
Mm-hmm.
team, and then try to like push past that even.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was some occurrences this split that were not the best, but I hate to say like it's just really, to me it's just really lazy to say that there are a lot of things outside of our control, which there were, but I think the main
Mm-hmm.
things were actually still inside our control.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you did get Broxa at week 4, but I mean, you still had those 5 weeks to ramp up to the final week. But something that I wanted to touch on that you said that some of the problems stemmed from players or staff. What did you mean by that?
I just mean like it's pretty obvious to people that the split has included some of the worst performances of some of our like almost all of our players like ever. Um, I played like complete garbage early on. I think there are definitely games where every single person on the team was playing awful. Either tilted because of the state of the team or just their performance wasn't good. But like this is one of those things where like you can never really say it's just like one person, right? Like everyone
Hmm.
just had some real question mark games, or at least one game, and on a solid team, that'd be absolutely okay. But because everybody was actually doing it, then that's a problem because you can't afford to lose like 5 or 10 games, because the the floor, I guess, of someone's performance is so low. And I think we're just like everyone on the team feels really awful, and we actually apologize to each other multiple times about like I've apologized to everybody. I've heard apologies from my teammates about just like the way that we've been playing, the way that they've been playing, I've been playing. It's just it doesn't feel right. Like we're not players that normally play like that. So I feel bad. Just yeah, I feel a bit of regret for sure. But anyways, back to it. Like I think there were games where every one of us could have stepped up and played better, and that would have made a huge difference and wouldn't have ever had to go that last game against Cloud9, wouldn't have ever had to go to the tiebreaker. We should have essentially locked in playoffs like pretty
Hmm.
early on in the split because of just how volatile everyone was like fighting over that like 7, 8, 9 win range. And it's just like we could have been there already if we just won a couple more games, and it just sucks because now we'll never have the chance to like really grow into playoffs. That feels
Yeah.
bad.
If you're comfortable sharing, this is something that I think is kind of interesting. Usually, we hear a lot of behind the scenes and like all the docu-series of players flaming each other after stressful moments. So it's really interesting to me that you said that all of your teammates and you yourself included were apologizing to each other. So like, what was said in those apologies? Was it for play or was it for like behavior?
I apologize for my behavior and my play early on in the split, and then I think everyone else was usually just apologized for their play. Um, yeah, I mean, usually I'm just pretty blunt, and you know, I like to just be completely transparent with my teammates. But when I feel sorry about something, I don't really have a problem with apologizing. And I think my teammates too, like everyone has some pride and some ego, but there's no reason why you can't apologize for a bad game or a bad play or just a bad time, like a bad
Mm-hmm.
a bad phase of your career or of your life. So yeah, usually it was just very, I don't know, like it feels strange because like there's definitely games that I could specifically reference, but I feel like then I would just be singling people out.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that. I want like the fans, I guess, to know that nobody on the team was really exempt from bad performance, and but nobody on the team was like actually just too prideful not to recognize it and be able to say like that they're sorry for it. So, I think that's the sign of a pretty mature team, which I feel like that is what we are. We're
Mm-hmm.
we're a really mature team, and if you're not able to admit your problems and apologize for them, then you're never gonna be able to fix them. And we are, trying our best to fix them and stay productive, I guess, like stay positive with it.
Mhm. Well, I mean, yeah, Team Liquid, you're a team filled with veterans, and all of you guys have maturity throughout the years of competing in LCS, both domestically and as well as internationally. So now that you've had this poor spring split, you still have summer coming up, and then summer's the split that has the weight of world's qualifications. So how are you now going to use this time between spring and summer to really make sure that the team that enters into summer split is this mature team that has everything together, the synergy's there, the communication's there, and how do you reignite that, I guess, that spark of motivation to really come in and kick butt coming into summer?
I mean, I think we're all highly motivated. That's for sure. I think the whole like motivation memes that are gonna essentially plague me for the rest of my career because I
No.
admitted that I wasn't motivated is
Mm-hmm.
like it just is what it is. The community is just gonna meme it to death. But I've been motivated since like week 5 of LCS. It's been a month now. It's probably been over a month. Um, and yeah, early on in the split, I was pretty upset because they took away so much significance from spring. But then when we started losing and having a really bad time, I realized like this is actually really important to me. and yada yada. I feel like I've told this so many times, but people are still gonna be like, is Doublelift motivated?
Yeah.
It's like our whole team is extremely motivated and was extremely motivated, and that's I guess like maybe that's like part of the problem is like we're all trying our absolute best, and still we were losing to Evil Geniuses, and we lost to FlyQuest, and it's like we were trying our best for weeks and weeks and weeks, and we still weren't able to beat these teams on stage, which means there's just something wrong. And that doesn't like chip away at your motivation to know that something's wrong. It's just you're trying to figure out what it is, you're trying to fix it. Our team was absolutely giving it their all. Like one of the criticisms of me was like, oh, Doublelift like just trolls in solo queue, he doesn't play much. Like I'm ranked 20 on the ladder, like my queue time's like 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just trying to like self proclaim or anything like that. Like it's just like everyone on the team was doing their best, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. And like for a summer split, I think that's all we can really do is just like show good performances and good effort, and try to figure out, do some self-reflection, be like, I realized like I was part of the problem, and like how am I gonna fix that for next split? We were like 0-4 early on with Senna. Like what was I doing that was holding the team back? Like could I change some things? Or is like it could be like a million things, right? So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's going to look at their own performances and reflect, and like we're all going to be our worst critic, hopefully. It's just really that'd be probably the most constructive way to go about it, and just break apart the things that you were doing wrong, that you were doing right, and for summer split, make some changes. Because if we're not going to be able to change the team, we're just going to continue to be a bottom tier team. That's it. Like we didn't get here by doing the right things. We got here by doing the wrong things. So we need to change the process. We need to change like our own play, like our own habits, whatever it is. And yeah, I like to sort of do that every single time I can. Just do some sort of like self-evaluation, and see what I can change about myself and make myself better. That's really what, like, I guess being a pro player is all about anyways.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to be honest, when I saw the motivation memes kind of go out flying on social media, I'm like, I know how hard you grind in this game. I know how big you are on a solo queue and really working towards improvement. So even though memes will always be memes, like, I'm sure you're on your way back up to the top. But I'm going to let you go. But before I do, is there anything that you want to say to all the fans, all the Team Liquid fans who are, still sad and disappointed today, but are ready to cheer you guys on as soon as you make your return in summer?
No, I guess just thanks to the fans who just care. I feel like mm, there's always like that subset of like really toxic fans that take things a bit too far. But overall, I'd say like my fans and the team's fans as well are really passionate. And it's better to have a passionate fan base that gets really pissed off when your team loses and does badly than one that doesn't care and is indifferent and is used to you being shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Team Liquid since 2018 has been a top team and been the best team. So I think we should have the higher expectations for the players. I don't feel like any player should ever be exempt from criticism, including me. And I think, but at the same time, like being measured with your criticism and like understand, not like pulling back your punches or anything, but like trying to understand where the player's coming from too. Um, can also be important. Like I feel like there's been games where I read the threads and it's like, damn, like I don't think this guy should be like fired, or like I don't think these kind of things. But overall, I think our fans, we're nothing without them. Like I would just be grateful for you guys. I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for the fans. That's pretty obvious. If no one watched my games, I'd be nobody. And so I want to do my best for the fans. I want to do my best for myself and my teammates first, but I also I want to make the fans happy next split. So that's what I'm working towards.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for taking the time to sit and talk with me. I know that I'm not Travis Gafford, but still honored.
No, you're way better. Thanks.
Oh, yes. Okay, there we go. Hear that, Alienware? Your girl is right here. No, but Peter, again, thank you so much for taking the time. And that's it for us here. For more Travis Gafford interviews, even though he is not here, you can follow him on Twitter as well as his YouTube channel right here. Drop that subscribe button, press, and...
Yeah, at Ovilee May.
At Ovilee May, yes, at Ovilee May. Let's go.
Smash that follow button, boys.
Smash it. And yes, thank you, Alienware, for sponsoring this interview.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for watching that video. Very unique times that we find ourselves in. Want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Movement. They're based out of Los Angeles, a local business. They actually sent me this collector's watch that they did a limited run on recently. But you can actually save some money by using the link below if you want to grab something from their website. Stuff is really helpful for me. It's helpful for them. I know it's kind of a weird time for all of us, but doing that type of stuff, helping support my sponsors helps me out, even as, you know, perhaps the things that I can offer them aren't interviews from live, giant filled audience, packed arenas, and instead it's like this type of stuff. You know, that kind of thing really does help me. So feel free to check them out. Even if you just click the link below, it helps me as they see that people are headed over there. So please check them out. Thank you again to Alienware as always, and stay tuned for more content as I make it here at home.